Premiere Pro just released its latest version, version 26, and I can confidently say that it is probably one of the best versions yet. And that is because it has AI object masking. And in today's video, I'm gonna go over what's new, why I'm so hyped out about it, and how to use this brand new feature. And I'll show you how capable this feature is, not just with basic footage, but also with more complex shots. So let's go over some of the things that are new but are not as exciting. The first one is that Premiere Pro now supports Nikon Red footage. It also has native support for Windows on ARM if you have a Windows. And also you can easily adjust the handles for your video transitions. So this is the previous version of Premiere Pro. You'll notice that we have under each of these effects, for example, opacity, you have the controls to create a mask. If you had added an effect, for example, in this case, like an elementary color effect, all of these tools for creating a mask will be under each of these effects. Now, all of these have been moved. So this is the 2026 version. And if I go under opacity, I do not see these masks anywhere here. So in order for me to create a mask and access a mask, I have to go down here under my tool section, and this is where all my new masks are. If you long press this button, you can go to ellipse, rectangle, and pen masking tool. And I have to say that these masks are very, very well designed, and it gives you a little bit more control, and they just work way better than the previous version. So if you go here under Lumetri color effect, same thing, you would not find those masks right under the effect, but under this icon here, object mask tool. So we'll go back into these masks in just a tiny bit. So this is how to use AI object masking. So we can go here into the object mask tool, make sure you have it selected, and go over to your clip, and right away it will identify automatically the most prominent subject in your scene, in this case myself. You can click on it, and there are two other buttons here. One is to add to this object, and one is to subtract from this. I'll show you how these work in just a tiny bit with a clip with a lot more stuff going on. Over here, you can also access the lasso tool or the rectangle tool, and you can also change the color of your overlay that you have been selecting. The other thing as well is once you click on a subject on your clip, this gets created, an object mask, and it gets added to the unassigned mask tab, which is now above the motion and opacity tabs here under your effect controls for that clip. Now, when I go and track this mask, it actually works very, very well in real time. This is all in real time, 5 seconds. It's about 6 or 7 second clip. And you can see here, the clip plays in real time and the mask just does its thing in real time. I can come back here to the beginning of it, and I can also track backwards, either 1 frame at a time, or just let it track by itself. And look at that. Now that this has been tracked, you can select whether you want that mask to be inverted or not. And there's also blend modes. You can have add, subtract, and intersect. So that's brand new as well. So if I wanted to add stuff in the middle, in between me and the background, you would then go and change this to an opacity mask. You right click there and you click onto that. And now this mask moves under opacity. And what happens now is that this clip has me cut out. So what I'll do is drag that up and hold Option or Alt, drag that clip down, click on the lower clip, and now I can just go ahead and delete that object mask. I'll move this clip. This is the clip of me being cut out. Let's turn this off so you can see it. So it did a pretty good job actually. Very, very nice, very clean. The hair here, it's not fully there yet, but again, in the amount of time that it did it was pretty good. So I'm just gonna go to here and just type random text, and let's move this text layer in between these two clips. Yeah, super clean, super quick, and it didn't take much time to do this. So let's play around now with the blending modes. If I subtract this, this is what happens. Now you have a slightly different use case for this with this blend mode. You can also intersect it, and this is also another very cool way of using it. So a lot more ways for you to customize this, and this is great. Let's throw this clip at Premiere and see how it does. So I'm gonna track a bunch of things. We'll start with this person here trying to cross the street. We'll go into our object and we'll select that person. And let's say I wanted to track this motorcyclist here. So we'll click on that person here, and I want to track this person here as well. This one too. And maybe this one too. Just a bunch of motorcycles on this busy street here. So let's track and see what happens. So 20-ish seconds. Again, this is all in real time, so you get a sense of how long it takes Premiere Pro to do this on this clip. And okay, seems like it got confused right here with some of these motorcyclists, but it kept tracking this person, albeit without the stick, as I guess the stick is just very thin. It's hard to get that. There's some errors here where they pass in front of the car, but you can go and subtract this section from the mask, and you can go and analyze the frame again forward, and then you can go and fix it frame by frame if there are mistakes. But overall, some of these motorcyclists were maxed out pretty well, I think. In my opinion, pretty good job. You can further go and clean this up, and obviously this is a much more difficult clip for it to run on its own, but overall I'm pretty impressed with what it's able to do. So I added another Lumetri color effect to this clip, and one thing that you can do that's really cool is that you can copy this object mask that you have created that is under opacity and paste it under Lumetri. So what that does now is that, let's say if I wanted to increase the exposure of the people that have masked or decrease that, I'm able to just go by the mask that I have previously created. So that's a very useful application, especially when it comes to color correction. So now let me show you how to use the masking tool in Premiere Pro. So let's say I wanted to create a mask, make this a mask, and then just track myself here. I'll just create this mask roughly here, and it's all right, not the best. I can adjust that feathering a tiny bit. You must have experienced this before, but once you press the tracking button here, nothing really tracks. And this happens like 90% of the time whenever I try to do this. And this is one of the reasons why I just give up doing this auto tracking in Premiere Pro, because it just doesn't work. And I stop it and nothing has happened. I can do mask path here and start tracking again, for example. Again, nothing happens, but again, it's that hit or miss kind of thing, and it doesn't really work whenever you want it to work. In the new version of Premiere Pro, I'm gonna add a Lumetri color effect here. In this, I'm just gonna name face. What I wanna do now is create a mask just over my face and have Premiere Pro track it. So the way you create masks now, as I mentioned previously, is by going onto this button, long press, and you can do either a pen or an ellipse. If you hold Shift, you create a perfect circle, and that is whether you're using the ellipse tool or if you're using the rectangle mask tool. Hold Shift, you create a perfect square. So let's go back to the ellipse and create an ellipse. Roughly so. Now you have this button here at the top that increases the feather, and the controls here are way more intuitive than the previous version of Premiere. You can rotate it. It's a lot more easier to manage, and it's just much better. So this new mask that I've created, again, goes under unassigned mask, like I showed you earlier. And let's go just track my face from here. And this, again, it was all in real time. And then go back here, and then we'll track backwards. You can go back to a single frame if there's something that you didn't like. For example, here, I can adjust that mask a little bit more or move it. And then from that point, track back and use that new information. So very similar to the Roto Brush tool in After Effects, but a lot more easy to use. So now with that selected, I can go and copy this ellipse mask, or you can click and drag it to the Lumetri color face. And that mask is now added under face. And then what I'm going to do now is just add a little bit more desaturation to my face, like so. And I can go and adjust a little bit of maybe some of that exposure, increase it a tiny bit. And there you go. The way you use the pen tool has completely been revamped, a lot more easy to use, a lot more intuitive, and it's actually functional. Go over here under Object Mask Tool and select the Pen Mask tool. Just gonna create a rough mask around myself here. If you click once, then it'll create a static mask. However, if you click and drag, you add those curvature, what do you call them, adjustment handles to that mask. So this is a cool way. I'm just gonna do a quick rough mask. You'll notice here that there is an option here for clip. So this mask adjustments affect the entire clip. And if you want these adjustments to just affect the current frame, you can also click and select that as well to fine tune those masks. You can move it out and about. You can double click on it and then you can adjust the sizing of it. You can click on it again. You go back to the individual points that you have created. And then there is this button at the top here that adjusts the feathering of that mask. So anyways, that is brand new Premiere Pro 26. I'm really loving it. I think, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best updates yet that I've seen on this software, and I'm gonna be using this quite a lot. And let me know in the comments below if you're excited about this new feature. And if you're still around, here are a couple more videos you could watch next, and I'll see you there.